Just sitting out here playing with the bees and saw a bunch of queen cages, so I thought I'd do a video on the different styles of queen cages. I had a couple of honey bottles that got a bunch of crystallized honey in the bottom, so I thought I'd give them to the bees. I got one up here too. And I got my Fat Bee Man hive top feeder. I put a piece of screen across the top, try and keep the bees from getting into the bowl. Not sure how they're getting in there, but they found a gap somewhere, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I got 4 different queen cages here. This one's called 3-hole cage, and it's got a 3/8 hole on each end, and you can see this one still has a cork in it. And they just use a Forstner bit to make 3 holes. And then they also put these saw cuts in the sides just for added ventilation for the bees. And like you can still see the wax paper in here. They put a piece of wax paper over the candy to help keep it soft. But what they'll do is they'll fill this plug full of this hole full of queen candy. It's powdered sugar and syrup, and then they'll put the queen and some attendants in these two through this corked end. And when you get the queen in a 3-hole cage, you would pop the candy cork out and place her in your hive, and then about 3 days she'll chew through, or the workers will chew the queen out of there, and by then her pheromones will have kind of taken over the hive and they'll be fine. The next one I have here is my personal favorite. It's a JZBZ queen cage in plastic. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. So it's got a little flip top here where you can put your bees in. I'll close it back up. And then this tube here is for the candy. They'll pack that full of the same stuff, the queen candy. And then the top also flips open. Like I said, these are my personal favorite JZBZs. The other thing that's nice about them is this section right here. There's no screen, so if the new queen is feeling threatened, she can come in here and hide, and she's protected by all the attendants that are maybe trying to kill her, so she can hide in this big area here. Another feature that they have is if you have a queen that you want to isolate for a while, I guess, you can break this bar out, and it functions as a queen excluder, so you'll keep the queen trapped inside, but the workers will be able to come and go through the end of the cage. Kind of a creative feature. This next one is called the California cage. It's similar to a 3-hole cage, and I think every queen I've ever gotten in a California cage has been all by herself. She doesn't come with attendants for some reason. But the last batch I bought, there was a cork in here, and then this is a candy tube for the California cages. It's just a plastic tube, and that plastic tube was full of candy. So I had to pull the cork, stick the tube in, and now you're ready for the workers to release the queen through the candy tube. I would say these are my least favorite. I guess maybe I'll change my mind, but it seems like if you have attendants in with a queen, it'd probably be better. The last batch of queens I got came in a queen mailer package, and they actually, let's see, what was there, 10 queens in there, and there was probably a couple hundred attendants inside the package. So they were tending to the queens from outside the California cage, so I don't know, maybe that's a good option. And the last type of queen cage I'll talk about is, these are usually referred to as hair roller cages. Kind of looks like a hair roller that your grandma probably used. And like the JZBZ, it's got a big area here where the queen can come in and hide, and then she can be protected from the workers. And it's got a flip top on the end here, and it's got a candy plug here that she would fill with candy. And then the same thing, you can put the hair roller cage in the hive and they'll chew through the candy. They also have a plastic cap that snaps on here. Keep the candy fresh, I would assume. The other thing that I forgot to bring with is these are also called NICOT cages. So if you're using the NICOT system and you're using the yellow fixtures, I think they call them, these queen cages will slip right over the outside of the queen cell holder fixtures. So that way, if you have queen cells emerging, you can cage them the day before, and then you don't have to worry about an early queen killing her sisters because they emerge in the cage. So one thing I will say about that I found out this last summer is, even though you think you've got plenty of time since you caged your queen, you really don't, because what happens is the queen tries to crawl backwards into her queen cell that she came out of, because she's desperately hungry. So probably could put a drop of honey down in there, and then maybe she'd feed off that drop of honey, put the drop of honey in there before you cage the cell, and then she has something to eat hopefully without going backwards into the queen cell, because once she's backwards in the queen cell, she can't get back out because her wings fold. I had to rescue 3 or 4 of them this year that were in the cell backwards. A couple of them didn't make it, but I was able to rescue 3 or 4 of them by just basically carefully tearing the cell apart and releasing the virgin queens. So that's it. Those are the different types of queen cages that I know about. I know in Europe and other parts of the world they use different styles, but those are the basic queen cells you'll see in America anyway. Some of the bees got coated in honey, so all of their sisters are more than willing to help clean them up. Thanks for watching.